Broads Media.
This is now 2 straight games where I thought the Flyers deserved a better outcome at the end. They just outshot their opponent 40-15 and lost 5-2. That's actually almost impossible. They had so many chances to score. Travis Konechny, wide open net, pokes it wide. Forster, I don't even have enough fingers to count how many times he screwed up. He is in his own head. Is he even hitting the net? I have no idea. It's aggravating. I think there's only one way to bounce back, fellas, because they haven't won a damn game since the Morgan Frost era started. It might be time for Torts to make a decision and say, get back up in the stands and start watching in the press box, my guy, because this team only knows how to win when he's out. Man, what a mess this was. And I am frustrated. I don't like hearing, well, Broads, shut your mouth. This team should be losing anyway. This is who they are. What do you mean? They should have won tonight. They could have scored on a 2-on-0 between Scott Lawton and Hathaway, and this changes everything. If the goalie makes a save, a timely save once in a blue moon, Urson, I'm looking at you. You don't get off the hook. You don't get off free. He stinks right now, and I'm watching Buffalo make a major stop on a 2-on-0, yet any moment, it's at 100% rate right now. Whenever the other team, it doesn't have to be Buffalo, but it's whenever the other team gets an odd man rush laid and they get a nice scoring chance, it's in the back of the net. At some point, I gotta ask for you to do something large. And I don't want to hear the excuse that he didn't expect to play tonight and he thought it was Carter Hart's night, because then what's your job as a backup if it's not to be ready for any moment that your number is called? This can happen at any point. It can happen at any time of the season. Be ready for it, and I don't think he was. So it sucks, and I am pissed because I thought they could have 2 more wins right now, and even though it's rebuild time and we're trying to get better and draft better and do all that stuff, I want to win. I want to win. I have competitive fire, and I want to see my hockey team produce, and when they play well enough to have the deserved outcome, that is a win in my eyes. I want that. I want that. I feel unsatisfied, and there's 2 ways to look at this. They're not a disaster, and they are involved right now, and they're doing great things. Sanheim contributed to both of their goals in the beginning when he hits Joel Farabee from behind the net for an awesome breakout pass, which then stretches him out on a 2-on-1. Now, maybe Joel Farabee probably should have shot anyway. Could have been a far pad looking for a pass that way. Or you can shoot short side and try and beat them cheating over for a potential pass. It hits off the skate, goes in, you get a lucky bounce. What's irritating, though, is instantly that lead is gone because Zamula had awful gap control. Now, in live speed and during the game when it actually happened live, I thought that Zamula could have pinched in the neutral zone. The more and more I watch it, I'm okay with him backing up and playing the rush. Where I needed him to do way better was holding his own blue line. There was a weak pass from the wall to the middle of the ice. That needs to be broken up there, whether you head out in transition the other way or you force them to go off sides. You're always taught if you're not 100%, don't pinch. So I get it, as the puck was a little loose and a little ahead of the forwards of Buffalo, if you decide to back up and not step forward because then you're really toast and you're screwed, fine. I can live with backing up and playing the rush, but you have to separate the pass to get into the zone. That was a terrible, terrible play by Zamula, and I know John Tortorella noticed it too. I really haven't even mentioned the Carter Hart injury yet. It sucks. It sucks to see him go down with a mid-body injury. I'm waiting to see what Torts says after the game. I'm not really expecting much. They'll probably hold it close to their chest. Okay, this was 32 seconds ago, so I'm perfect on the timing. Tortorella said they did not have an update on Carter Hart yet. They will know more tomorrow. That's exactly what I expected to hear from them. Before we continue, let me tell you about my friends over at TickPick. What if I told you I can give you $10 towards getting tickets for the Flyers, the Sixers, the Eagles, or even a concert? Well, if you go to TickPick and click the link specifically down below, my promo code is already attached to the link, and I can give you $10 off of your tickets if you spend over $100. And TickPick is so confident that they have the best prices in the market, that if there's any competitor out there that beats their prices for the same exact seats, they will give you 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. And they also have upfront pricing. So no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra that you have to plan on spending on top of the listed price on other sites, because the price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout. Period. End of story. Make sure you check it out. You'd be a fool not to experience either of these teams live right now. The winter sports teams. Don't forget about the Birds as well. But I'm just saying, the Wells Fargo Center is starting to get popping, and this team brings the energy. They do play the right way. And while there are some mistakes that happen, and you see that, they are putting a lot of pressure on these teams. I don't know if they're holding their sticks too tightly because they know right now they need to score. Forster specifically tonight, there were just so many. I can't believe it. I can't believe Cam Atkinson didn't score. I can't believe Travis Konechny did not score. I can't believe Travis Sanheim didn't score on his little rush that he had there shorthanded. Such ridiculous cuts to the net. It was beautiful. Travis Sanheim continues his fantastic start to the season, so much so that during intermission live, they're asking about, well, who's the most exciting player out there? Not that this is a game filled with Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, Bedard, and all these highlighted players. But they do say, look at Sanheim out there. He's buzzing around. He's seeing the ice well. He contributed to both of the goals for the Flyers at that point, and his ability to start it off in the defensive zone to then make a first good pass. Boring stuff. Tape to tape, outlet passes from behind your goal line to the half wall. It can't get any more boring than that. But that boring play is what gives Joel Farabee an opportunity to use his speed, get up ice, and he may have gotten lucky with some puck luck, but sometimes you need luck, and that's what ended up happening there to give you the early lead. Like I said, it just sucks that you give it away instantly, and then you got lucky because you're able to challenge an offsides call where there was a 5-on-2, 5-on-3 rush up ice. You can't allow Jeff Skinner to take all that space, and nobody was even close to touching him, and he skates right into the slot and rips it. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Good for Tortorella and the team, though, to recognize that they can challenge that. How the hell do you skate off sides there? That is brutal. And this Buffalo team, though, they still found a way, which is nuts. I'm scared for the Carter Hart news. It did not look good. He tried to power through. He tried to stay out there and compete, but you could tell that it was not happening. And I was a little stunned myself because I found out from a couple people who cover the team, I guess the Flyers probably told them some information on who the emergency backup was. The emergency backup was my goalie back at Gloucester Catholic, Dan Spencer. So shout out Dan Spencer. He was one injury away, Urson getting injured, one injury away from playing in an NHL game. I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying, though, he's sitting on the bench. It was my goalie in high school. Pretty crazy. What type of sport do we have where someone just gets plucked off the street to be the emergency quarterback? Dave Zangaro of NBC Sports Philadelphia actually had a pretty funny tweet out there about it. And could you imagine if the San Francisco 49ers, instead of Brock Purdy, it should be a local person and they just have to play quarterback, but they haven't played quarterback since high school, or maybe they played college at some point and they just get thrown in and they're the emergency quarterback in case they go down. It's pretty crazy that we even allow that, and sometimes you see it. Remember the Toronto Maple Leafs lost to a Zamboni driver? Oh, Jesus. That would probably happen to the Flyers, though. Or, whatever. Speaking of things that don't make much sense at all anyway, I guess I'll continue. Scott Lawton Not that this doesn't make sense. This makes sense. It definitely makes sense. It's more of a random little tidbit, if you will. But Scott Lawton liked my rant that I posted on Twitter about how people scream shoot in the stands when they're trying to work a power play. Well, it's almost like, I don't know, me and Scott Lawton are on the same wavelength with hockey IQ. I'm just spitballing here, but I think that's the general consensus from when after he liked the tweet. I'm just spitballing. What do I know? I do know that this team deserved more. I do know that we need more from Urson, and I do know that our goal scorers have to light the lamp. That's what I know. And even some of our secondary pieces that aren't known to score 30 and score high 20s, do something. Do something. Tippett probably could have had one. What are we doing? Are we pressing too much? There should be no reason to press too much. I thought they played strong. I thought they played strong against Carolina. What I'm afraid is going to happen, because we have seen this many, 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 many times, is it gets so bad that they lose so many in a row, and then their bottled up frustration snowballs things out of control. And they really get down in the dumps, and you could tell that everybody's upset, and they lose sight of playing the game the right way, and then it really gets ugly. We can't see another 10-game losing streak, another 9-game, 8-game losing streak, and I'm just worried because if you notice, when you look at their future schedule here, it will be more difficult. So they see Buffalo Friday night. This time, they are traveling to Buffalo. But after that, they have a back-to-back following that Buffalo game. They're playing the LA Kings here at home. San Jose's 0-8-1. You can possibly go get some redemption against the Anaheim Ducks. You play the Kings. You have Carolina, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Hurricanes, the Devils. It gets beefy. There's a Blue Jackets game in there. I would expect a W. They're 3-4-2 currently. A lot of injuries resulted in why their record was so poor last year. I don't really know what they're supposed to be, though, if I'm being completely honest with you. Things change in November, and the teams that you see are significant talent. And I just hope that they don't lose it because they get so angry by either their goaltending not holding up their end of the bargain, or it's constant odd man rushes. It's constant 3-on-2s, but they're not putting up anything on the board. You know? It's rough to see Cam Atkinson have to take a couple rushes defensively. Well, most of the time, that hurts you. Although it would be nice for someone to rob someone once in a blue moon. If Carter Hart misses some serious time, though, I don't know what's going to happen. This thing can get super ugly, super quick if Urson doesn't get his confidence back. What I love about my bookie, though, is I'm so damn confident that they are the best sports book in the world. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So why are you passing up cash-in winners every weekend? My bookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere. So you could turn the sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, then that time is right now. Make your winning move today. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code BROADS, and claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code BROADS to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Only with MyBookie. You do not want to miss out on the fun that we are having. I've been giving out winners on social for a long period of time now. You should probably follow me at Broads81 if you don't already, because we've been flirting out dubs all month long. I say all month long. It's November 1st. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's attack the Anytime Hotline. Lots of texts tonight. So maybe I'll mix in calls too. There are some calls as well. Yeah, whatever. We'll start with the call first. How about that? Let's do it.
Tough one. It was a wild first period. You open with a crazy puck luck goal. You give one up right away, and then another one, but Torts gets another challenge right on the offside, which has been hilarious. But then you give one up right away. They come back and tie it in the first, and in the second and third, they way outskated and outchanced the Sabres. They dominated play. But at the end of the second, it was a bullshit call on Delorier, and Sanheim should have put that shorthanded goal away. And in the third period, you dominated yet again, but you couldn't get one home. It was disappointing, but not bad play from the Flyers tonight.
It wasn't bad play, and there could be an argument made that isn't that what you want? You wanted them to compete. You wanted them to play hard. You wanted them to do the right things and play a style that you could support. And if that ends up with a loss, then that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I get it. I do get it from a general sense. It's easy to say that from a 1,000-foot view, but when I'm spending my time sitting there watching and I want this team to win, you know what else sucks too is, okay, the game against Vegas, for example, or a game against Dallas where you score a bunch of shorthanded goals and you show fight and you see some of these elite teams in the league and you really prove that you can at least max their energy and fight for as long as humanly possible. And if skill overpowers you, then so be it. That's a different pill to swallow than how you just performed against a team like Buffalo or even the game against Carolina. Carolina is way better than the Flyers. They have a goal of going deep into the postseason, and then Rod Brindamore wants to go challenge whoever for a Stanley Cup final. They're getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I thought if you outplay that team on that given night, I think it would go a long way for Bobby Brink in the lineup and Tyson Forster and some of these kids to beat a Carolina team that has more talent than them in this type of season. I still root for that. The draft pick will fall where it falls. We'll get there when the draft happens. We'll get there when it's time for that to discuss, all right, who can they get? Are they at 7 or are they at 5 or are they at 9? Where is their draft pick? Whatever. It'll go where it goes. But if the team is farther along than what is maybe thought of them before puck drop for game one, that's a better thing. And I'm rooting for them to be better along or farther along, better than we thought they were. I prefer that. So I'm trying to figure out if they are or if they are exactly who we thought. They're getting more scoring chances than I ever would imagine. So if they can start producing and executing, then maybe they are better. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now, you brought up a couple of the penalties. I thought the Delorier penalty sucked. I thought even the Travis Sanheim penalty sucked. When they finally got a power play, he barely cross-checked right in front of the blue line once they were getting the puck deep. Buffalo, that is. That is not a 2-minute minor. Come on. He's dumping the puck, and I think they were even trying to get a change. That didn't change anything. Like that did not impact that play at all. Garbage call in my eyes. Amadeo texted in, that's 2 games in a row they deserved better fate. Sometimes it's just how it goes. Got to learn how to finish when you get so many chances. Hopefully this heart injury is nothing serious, but I kind of think it's unfair that fans are saying Urson sucks. I don't know if he's going to suck forever, but I'm extremely disappointed in the start of the season for him, even though I'm aware that some of these scoring chances are legit. Some of the playmakers and some of the goal scorers that Buffalo have on their roster, when they have access to a wide open shot and when they have ice and time and space, they can rip it. There's no denying it. But I just watched Buffalo stop a 2-on-0. He hasn't been good, and he hasn't been close to being good. It's been problematic. So if someone's saying he's always going to suck and he's pathetic and he's always going to blow and he can never improve, well, that's different. But as for right now and just judging what I've seen, he has been a disaster. Now, I do think if he can get time here because Carter Hart can't go, maybe he can snap out of it. But at some rate, if this is what he is, if this is what he is for a lot of starts, then he does suck. This is not okay. The difference is whether you think there's more in Urson or not, and I have to believe there is because I saw it last season, but until he gets his confidence back, I just don't know where to go with it. Zach texted in, just stumbled upon your show and have become a massive fan. Thanks so much, Zach. When Forster nets his first win of the season, you might as well bet him to score for the next 5 after that because this dude is going to take off. Until then, oof. The Forster experience is rough. Rough. He came in hot last year. He came in buzzing. I thought it was a lock that he'd pick up basically where he left off because that's almost the most difficult thing. When you first get the nod, it's like, hey, man, here you go. And he goes out there and scores a bunch. I mean, you already did it. You already did it. Just go play your game. You know your game will become good in this league. You did it. You did it for a couple of games. You're on the score sheet every single night. Just go be you. You already know it works. Yet now, he's lost. Riley from Westchester, PA. Hey, Broads. My thoughts on the Flyers is, dang it, the Phillies really would have won the World Series. Oh, I know. I had that game 5, or is it game 5? Yeah, because the Rangers are up 3-1. I had that on the second TV. But I need to see Forster burying some of these chances. Atkinson and TK look good, but they need to score on those two. Definitely a winnable game, but honestly, it's time to embrace the tank. I disagree. The Morgan Frost experiment is a bust. I didn't really see anything out of Morgan Frost. Not one time did his name pop on the screen for me whatsoever, unless something happened in the first 4 minutes of the third period. I was upstairs with my wife and my dog, and I was helping her out for a couple minutes there, and I came down, and there were 16 minutes left in the third, so I missed the first 4 minutes of the third. If that happened and Morgan Frost did something in those 4 minutes, and I apologize, but other than that, I did not see one damn thing from Morgan Frost. But to Morgan Frost's credit, I thought against Carolina, he made some plays that did pop off the screen. So for whatever that's worth. Love seeing Danny and Keith in the booth, hopefully cooking up a good future for the Flyers. I do think they will. I disagree with time to embrace a tank. They're not tanking. They never were tanking. John Tortorella and this young core was never going to tank. Tank is what the Sixers did. Strip it down and suck on purpose. That's not what the Flyers are doing. And I think the Flyers fan base right now, and I appreciate your text, I really do, is all over the place right now in technicality and the definition of certain words and tank and this and that. This team is steps ahead from the tank. You tank if you don't have Bobby Brink, Owen Tippett, Tyson Forster, Sanheim even, because he's not even that old at this rate. Cam York, he's still growing, and he's still going through the process of becoming the best defenseman that he can be. Konechny's 26 years old. Now, I'm not saying that he's developing's a different word for a guy like that. I think he's already established himself as a premier goal scorer in this league, but taking bigger steps and becoming more of a star than maybe I thought he was in previous years, something along those lines. Yeah, that's an angle of growth from Travis Konechny. You have that. You have that. If you didn't have any of that, that's when you would embrace the tank to get what I just mentioned. You have that. You're steps ahead of the tank. It doesn't mean this team's going to be good and win a bunch. They're still going to lose. But it's the technicality of it, and then when it gets brought up, you can tell it kind of boils inside of me a little bit because I don't root for them to lose right now. I don't want them to lose and be losers every night, even though organically it will happen because they don't have enough talent. But if they outshoot their opponent and outperform their opponent and outchance their opponent and dominate the opponent for as long as they did in the third period and couldn't score one, and then something happens the other way and then all the momentum is lost, I'm not going to feel great about it just because of a draft pick down the road in the summer. I can't think like that right now. But anyway, before we wrap things up, a crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into dinner time recipe ruts. So keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. So there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. HelloFresh does the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. How easy is that? HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout, so that means you get easy home cooked meals on the table and money back in your pocket. Go to HelloFresh.com/50broads and use code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. That's 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. I appreciate all of your time tuning into the show. Thank you guys all so much, and we will be talking very soon.